My name is Alex Wulpi. I'm a communication major, senior, going to graduate in 2017 in December.
My name is Rickey. I am a senior this year as well, majoring in communications, and I will be graduating in May of 2017.
My name is Rachel Stevens. I'm a senior communications major, and I will be graduating December 2017.
With everything that's going on in the internet and social media, this major allows students to learn and to best arm themselves against messages that otherwise would persuade them.
So, in an academic sense, communication studies is just taking a look at the way in which we interact with each other, whether that's through media, whether that's through face-to-face, with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers, with strangers, or whether it's communicating as a speaker to an audience, which kind of ties into rhetoric, what we, all three of us, study, which is just the art of discourse and how people use language to persuade others to do what they want.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I think rhetoric and public advocacy are kind of tied to each other. They teach us rhetoric so that we learn how to craft a message. We learn how to use all the means of persuasion that are available to us. And if they just left us there, then we would know how to create a good message, but we wouldn't know how to really use that and where it should be best used. And so with the public advocacy portion, we kind of learn how to put that to use and what groups could really benefit from that.
Rhetoric teaches you what to do, and the public advocacy part teaches you how to use it. If you're asking what you can do with communication degree, I think the better question is what you can't do, because there is such a broad degree. If you're talking sales, journalism or mass media, public relations, marketing, event planning, there are just all these fields that people don't really think a communication degree would apply there, but it absolutely does.
The School of Communications just kind of rounds you out and makes you a little bit more marketable with the skills that you have, and just kind of hones those skills in general. I know a gentleman on campus here, he was a chemistry major, but then he took some communications courses and then switched right to communications. And now he's really excited to see what he can do with his communications degree.
I think it's a really sought after degree because they do teach you so many different skills that so many different companies can use and are looking for. People are really seeking after people who know how to create a compelling message, and that's what they teach you in the communications department.
What hooked me was public advocacy. So I'm a veteran. I was in the Marines for 5 years, and one of my dream jobs is to work for, possibly run, a nonprofit that advocates for veterans in America. So once I heard, public advocacy, like something clicked, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't know what rhetoric is. I'll deal with that later. But the public advocacy is part, sure, I want to learn how to publicly advocate for what I'm passionate about. So that's what ultimately hooked me, and I haven't looked back.
I didn't know what I was good at, but I knew what I was bad at. And so entering into school or entering into to college, it was kind of intimidating because I didn't really know, I wasn't really aware of the different possibilities that a communication degree could offer me. For me, my passion is still an undecided factor in my future. But luckily, since I have now firmly placed my faith in the School of Communication, I can now move forward.
I just wanted to help people. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to do it. But once I get this degree, that will be the first step. I've always been really interested in ministry. So yeah, my advisor said, what about rhetoric and public advocacy? Learn to conduct a message, learn to relate to people. If you want to be a communications major, I would say be prepared to read a lot and be prepared to read a lot of hard stuff. you will take classes with Dr. Carol, and she will make you read very difficult material, but ultimately it makes you better. So I say push through it. When it's hard to understand things, ask questions, because it's worth it once you have the understanding and you have that aha moment. It's not easy concepts to learn, but they're very valuable concepts once they're gained and understood. So yeah, I would say perseverance.
For me, it was just communication. Professors and the classes in general, they're kind of structured to make you uncomfortable. They push you out of your comfort zone. They push you out of your very small realm of thinking. You know, going into college or being a student or being of the millennial generation, whatever that means for anyone, we believe that we already know everything, or we know how to know the things. Communication and the professors put before you, they kind of say, hey, you don't, but let me show you how you can get to that point.
And I think to piggyback off of that, that's an incredibly valuable skill to have when you head into the workplace, and when you start a new job and you have to learn the ropes. And this is experience that I gained when I was in the Marines, is that being aware of the things that you don't know is an incredibly valuable skill to have. Not a lot of people have it. Like I said earlier, I would love to work in the nonprofit world. I would love to be able to go home at the end of the day saying that I've made somebody else's world a little better. And because of my own personal experiences, I would really like to work for or run a veterans advocacy nonprofit organization. So
I've decided to go to Chicago and kind of begin to build a more extensive resume, because unlike Alex, I haven't really had the opportunities to work for years doing a certain thing. I've had several odd jobs, as some college students will attest. I mean, sometimes we don't get that opportunity. But the advisors here, they've pushed me to make a long-term list of goals and then how to achieve them. And so I see Chicago, or the move to Chicago and gaining that experience, as just kind of a stepping stone. I do eventually want to make my way out to San Diego, California, and work for Sony PlayStation. That would be the absolute dream job for me.
My goal, again, is to work in ministry or work for a nonprofit. I'm really interested in urban development. So working for a company like the Downtown Improvement District or Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership would be very cool, while doing ministry on the side, or making ministry my full-time job. Wherever I really fall on that spectrum there, I just want to help people.